Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
We're back with another set of games from the PDX Steel Division Normandy 44 tournament. We've seen some excellent play so far, and here
hmm
on Mount Ormo, we're going to see some more. Rang, who do we got?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have gnef playing as a 2nd Infantry Division. And on the right-hand side, we have Chicken Do, but it won't be Chicken Stew, because he's playing the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier. I also do want to point, this is round 2. So both players have advanced for a previous round run, and the winner of this match will be the one advancing onto round number 3.
Indeed, and it's been some, like I said before, excellent play so
hmm
far. I do have to ask here, though, we don't see very much of Mount Ormo. Why
Oh
is
no.
that, Rang?
I remember seeing quite a bit about Ormol during more of the earlier stages of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Not of the map, but of the game. This was a very popular 101st, 3rd Falltjäger map back when, third Falltjäger and 101st were a meta to go to. But it's a fun map. You got mounts, you have elevation to work with, you got some open fields down south, a choke point forest area in the middle, and up
Mm-hmm.
north you got some hedgerow, small village fighting in different areas. But also, I think the reason, Karnet, we do not see many elevation maps is first off, most of the maps are flat because it's northern France, and number two, the rangefinder is a bit buggy when it comes to elevation. It doesn't really detect the elevation essentially.
Fair enough. But you know what? Maybe that's enough about the map. Let's get to the actual
hmm
players themselves. So you said we have 2nd Infantry, we have 17th SS.
Yep.
We see the 17th is all mustered up in one corner. How's that whole division makeup really going to play out here?
This is going to be pretty interesting actually because both sides have perfect tools for this map and they're both infantry heavy and
Hmm.
support gun heavy. So I'm expecting to see gnef rip out some assault, ranger assaults, and
Hmm.
she can do, of course, during some SS Stormtroop, and that's going to be some very good play back and forth. But also, both sides can counter each other with their regular infantry, gnef being able to bring up ranger support, and Chicken Do being able to bring up Panzer Grenadiers. Both sides have support gun weapons such as T-30s, IG-18s, artillery up the wazoo. So these are both pretty similar divisions. I mean, looking at the points here, of course, very similar. But in terms
Hmm.
of weapon loadout, infantry loadout, etc., especially on this map, it's going to be a rather even matchup. It's going to become more of a who can put down more high explosives on the field than the enemy.
Well, I always like getting a lot of bang from my buck, but
hmm
here's the question. So we see early on, looks like Chicken Dew's going a little bit, maybe not quite as heavy as I thought in terms of leadership. I was thinking I saw a lot of stars there. But over on the American side for the stars and bars, we're going to see some flamethrowers. Excellent choice to start off the game, or should he wait a little bit to get that later on?
I just rip him out immediately and try to clear out this forest choke point in the middle. It usually becomes the heavy contested point of the map because it gives you good control over the northern and southern sectors.
Hmm?
And also, it's the center. You always got to fight over the center, and people do love a good forest fight.
Actually, here's a question.
Okay.
So we have that middle choke point.
hmm
Would you like it better? I mean, this map is not perfectly balanced back and forth, so who's got the better draw in this case? Do you prefer having those forests to the west or that hillside to the east?
I would give Chicken Do just a slight advantage because of that hillside. Like Obi-Wan said during the third Star Wars movie, I have the high ground, and it's always about the high ground, Khan.
Sounds about right. And while we don't want to talk too much about The Last Jedi coming to theaters near you in the next 2 weeks, we're going to get started right now. And it looks like Chicken Dew is not content with hanging back. He wants to cross that road immediately.
hmm It seems like he's playing a bit more heavy up north and maybe a bit more defensive posture down south.
Hmm.
Makes sense because he can just do IG-18 support gun spam, which will work well against 2nd Infantry, and also in an open field is much better than in a cramped forest.
But then at the same time, I'm not seeing IG-18s to the south. I'm
Ah,
seeing anti-tank guns, though, aren't we?
yeah, we're seeing some AT guns to the south, and I don't think there's any IG-18s at all. It's all
No, I
Pack
see 81
38s.
stovepipes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got some just the 80 runs, of course, but yeah, it's much more of a regular infantry play. I think just Panzer Grenadiers and SS Stormtroops.
Although it does look like gnef is just trying to get his troops to get their daily steps in, 10,000 and counting from those rangers going towards the middle part of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And Chicken Doo's going to grab himself a tiny, tiny point advantage. I don't expect that's going to last too long, though, especially these rifles coming in looking to get into that house, and I think they will make it pretty easily.
Yeah. And it's the northern side is always very interesting because it is just house to house fighting in the terms that you're fighting and shooting over the houses at 500 meters, not brick to brick, rule for rule. So it's all about those little village strongholds and leapfrogging from one stronghold to another.
Well, one thing I do like to say is see early on, I like seeing that we actually have some machine guns out here. It means both players are eager to take ground and hold it, as opposed to just kind of throwing everything forward in a madcap assault.
Yeah.
Does not always seem to happen these days, so it's nice to see that it is coming out from both players.
Then we finally got some first shots being fired by 81mm mortar, trying to hit up the rifles a little bit. And I'm thinking we're going to see some action very soon in the center part with stormtroopers ambushing some rifles and rangers.
Well, of course, we're probably going to say that the Stormtrooper are going to be absolutely superlative in close-to-close combat, but with that weight of fire and the number of models, can the rifles kind of make out for that disparity?
They're going to get buggered by the stormtroopers in CQC. The Ranger Assaults really do have the advantage over the Stormtroopers just because the Flamethrower instantly stuns up. Well, unfortunately, SS Stormtroopers, unlike Canadian Stormtroopers, don't have high explosive grenades, so they can't get that, important one-hit kill stun up.
I never realized that Canadian generosity was so explosive.
Oh, it is, bad.
Wrapping you in a warmth of heat and fire consistently.
Or I mean, up here in the frozen north, we throw explosives onto our fireplaces to keep us warm.
So that's what happened to the Eskimos. Forgive me, the Inuit.
It's fun.
We are going to see a duck will get exploded by the door knocker to the east, and I'm wondering. I think we are going to see gnef is starting to get himself some troops up to the north for a push. I'm thinking that M20 is going to be trying to balance out the MG42 to the east there as well. But I think you called it right. I think we're just going to see a meat grinder in the center part of this map here.
Yeah, it's already comes a meat grinder. I do love the smoke retreat, from the stormtroopers. That was good play. The Ranger Soldiers have managed to run around, and we got artillery from both sides. And honestly, in terms of a meat grinder, I really do give it to Chicken Doo, as he can potentially bring up more stormtroopers, and gnef can bring up Ranger Assaults. And once gnef runs out of Ranger Assaults, forest fighting becomes a bit more harder.
Sounds about right. Although at the same time, too, you have to give, and this is more just really in support of your point, having all of those choke points and line of sight blockers, I mean, it's really hard for the riflemen to even begin to establish long-range dominance.
Yeah, and close-range riflemen are okay, but really, riflemen excel in that, 300-meter engagement distance. And when you have a lot of them, of course.
True. Very true. So Ranger supports are going to be plopped out to the north. We're seeing a DD come on in, so a M4 coming to the north. That should prove rather decisive as long as it doesn't get hit by that Pak-38.
Yeah, in the recent patch, all the M4s now have a much better gun with 5 accuracy and 11 AP. It's not really going to be used for anti-tank purposes, of course, unless that Stug F8 was to be ripped out. But, M4 Sherman will prove to be a very useful piece of armor, considering that Pak-38 are a little inadequate dealing with it.
That's putting it rather mildly, but I completely agree with you there. So you mentioned the new patch, by the way. I know you did some extensive testing on that to give back some ideas here. So what kind of changes can players expect to see out of these games in the next couple of days?
Well, we got some new units, like 6 Airborne and French getting some pretty fun infantry. Germans finally got that 105mm field gun, which it was probably the most commonly used field gun that the Germans use, so it makes sense having it in game. In terms of balance, in terms of this matchup, not really much. It's really just the M4DD that is the major
Forgive me, by the
difference.
way, I don't want to cut you off too quickly, but we have Ranger Assaults moving into close on 2-3 squads of Germans and getting cut to pieces.
Oof.
That could have been absolutely amazing, and unfortunately was rather less so. So forgive me, you were saying Germans, major artillery piece from the war.
Yeah, the 105 LFS 18. But it's a pretty good patch. I still think I should have nerfed 4th armored them a lot more, but that's just my opinion, man.
No, I've been hearing some feedback from other players so far about the new patch. Been definitely agreeing with you on that one. We are going to actually get some artillery coming in from the Germans, some legitimate artillery coming in for the Germans. And it looks like up north that gnef's push is kind of stalled significantly.
Yeah, yeah, it's in the open ground, MG42s, Pan Grenadiers, pain in the butt, unless there's an M4 Sherman DED, which is definitely going to help even the tides right now, and I think it's really going to push Chicken Do to get some heavy anti-tank weaponry.
True, but at the same time, I kind of wonder if gnef moves in too aggressively.
Yeah, I
Will
mean,
we see a kind of a messy result?
well, he has to worry about the stormtroopers because those are the ones with the Panzerfaust. But fortunately,
Mm-hmm.
the Panzergrenadiers for 17th SS don't have Panzerfaust, so it's much safer to get in close against them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, fifth Ranger Assault coming up to the north. I think gnef is running pretty much out of this, isn't he?
Yeah, you can only get it can get like 6 of them in a
Mm-hmm.
deck, so we're not even into B phase yet, and he only has one more left. And that is the problem with Ranger Assaults. You tend to run out of them. Or
Super
Rangers in
quickly.
general.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer like pre-August days or pre-veterancy nerf days where you could just spam Rangers as second infantry and win. No, as second infantry now you really do have to rely on the rifleman spam to really get you through the later stages of the game.
Well, that sounds about right too, even historically.
Yeah.
To the north, by the way, MG42 going down. Pack 38 is falling back, which is going to give this German strong point a lot to think about there.
Mm-hmm. And those Panzer Grenadiers, they are just doing fantastic work, open range, really excel. It's just that Sherman and M20. It is going to be the pain in the butt. Yeah, we do have, here we go, Stargate phase being brought out. That's going to be an excellent counter
There we go. Mm-hmm.
to the Sherman.
Down to the south, by the way, you called it rather well for both sides. Absolutely nothing going on. We're seeing a
Mm-hmm.
mild push by MG42 and Panzer Grenadiers backing up some stormtrooping, but not a whole lot to speak of there.
I think Chicken Do could really exploit this because he's moving up the Panzer Grenadiers onto that little village area. But if he
Mm-hmm.
could get control of that little village area, he can
Mm-hmm.
shoot into the road that leads into the center. Just get an AT gun or an IG-18, yeah, and you can disrupt the enemy supply lines a bit.
Sounds about right, but he has completely given up the northern flank. The AT gun
Oof.
going down as well. Okay, never mind. Here comes that stroke that you called out before.
Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder, does gnef actually see it? Yes, he does. He knows the Stug is there, so he's falling back
Yeah.
rather intelligently.
That's a smart move. I think a 50 cal can't exactly kill a German. Bloody hell, Stoom. How do you say the Stug's full name again?
Sturmgeschütz.
Sturmgeschütz. Yeah, I knew it was German, but that Sturmgeschütz, whatever, 3. Yeah, I mean, 50 cal doesn't work well.
Sounds about right. Even those harsh words and very, very mean language isn't going to happen either. We are going to see a repeat of that balls out, bloody minded push by Ranger Assaults coming on in, and now they outgun the valiant defenders sitting right behind that tree line, and I think this is going to be a death of pretty much the entire northern German position.
Yeah, the Panzer Grenadiers are going to be able to ward off the Ranger Assaults a bit, but yeah, it's the Flames killing the leader unit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Ranger support's going to start the Panzer Grenadiers pretty easily. And yeah, its northern side has really quite faltered. Chicken Do has lost some rather important strategic positions.
And really, I can't help but suggest that there's the 107 mortars backing up the normal 80 mil mortars, 66 something. Wow, throwing the German one over there for a second. I can't help but feel that that's really what's allowed the American position to stabilize.
Exactly, those 60 millimeter mortars are scary to go up against because that 2-star veterancy con makes them shoot like a machine gun. So he pretty much all he's done is shoot Panzer Grenadiers and mortars, stun them up, and then move in the American GIs to mop up. And really, his artillery spam from gnef is working well, but it's not really cheesy because that's really how you display second infantry. They are
That's really the American way too, for that matter, isn't it?
yeah, they're really the most artillery spammy deck in game, I'd say. Especially considering you can get one card of ×5 run 5mm howitzers. I mean, gee, you never need that. Right, you would need that many, but I mean that's really good activation points for your card price. buck exchange. If there's ever
Thing.
like a stock market
Duber.
for it, you know.
No, we are getting into Phase B over here. I do want
Hmm.
to ask a question before we talk about Phase B for both divisions, but in terms of analogy back and forth, I would say maybe what the second infantry is kind of analogous to the German 352nd, correct?
Uh, I'd really say they're more analogous to the 17th SS. They're both,
Really?
yeah. I mean, one's an infantry, one's a mechanized deck,
Mm-hmm.
but both decks rely on that infantry and artillery spam to really work through a role. For example, the 352nd does machine gun spam and, of course, Jagd Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And oh, look at Stug, that's already been knocked out a little bit, and it's not having the best of time being hit up by that 6-pounder. And I think the Sherman, okay, I thought he was going to come in to try and, take advantage of the Stug's morale damage, but alas, he's just keeping it back, not wrestling up against that German armor piece.
Now, one thing I'm not very happy to see with Chicken Deuce play, I mean, I do like the Pioneers coming up to the
Mm-hmm.
north, trying to push back in that particular position,
Good old
but
Pios.
I do not like the fact that he's got an IG-18 that still has all of its ammo. And that sounds, I know it sounds petty. And the 120 mil that's fired 2 rounds, and
Yep.
81 millimeter that's out of ammo. Like I feel like there's some supply issues that need to be addressed over here on the German side here. That's not happening.
Yeah, the Americans are a little bit low on ammo, but they're finally getting a Duck W to resupply. I
Mhm.
think, yeah, well, Chicken Dew's finally
Two,
getting
in
some
fact.
more. Yeah, it's getting some more artillery now, which will definitely help out.
Hmm.
But I feel for Chicken, he really should be trying to exploit this southern flank. I want to take a look at his viewpoint real fast. He can't really see anything down here, but he must realize that, hey, I got this big penetration here from the Panzer Grenadiers map control rise. Maybe I can take advantage. Because once he breaks through into that open ground, that's just going to be a nice piece of ground. And like I said before, he can pretty much flank up north and cut off supply lines, yeah.
Okay, I do have to give a little bit of props. He's citing some mortar
There
barrages
we
that are
go.
just absolutely beautiful
Oh,
on the middle part of
yeah.
gnef's position. Ooh, I didn't even see. We actually have
Oh,
gnef,
damn.
a Focke Wolf taking down. Oh my gosh, what is that? A
I think
Mustang?
it's
No.
Thunderbolt.
Ah, Thunderbolt.
Probably a
Thank you.
Thunderbolt. I mean, it's crashed off map, so we may never know until we check the history of the game, of course. But
Naturally.
yeah. But up north, gnef is really exploiting this. He's knocking out the Pioneers now. Really, it's just his Stug that is stopping his assault, and I think that 57 mil may knock it out. No,
Nope.
phew. That 2 stealth infantry does make a difference, but it's just losing that initial ground, like initial village areas, has
Hmm.
really hurt Chicken Dude because now, if you look at his position, there's not really much cover between him and the enemy to attack to. So
Hmm.
trying to retake that position is a pain in the ass.
We're going to see a small armored force coming down on the southern flank, as well as some anti-air coming to the north. I realize, of course, that you can make the case either way on this one, but the anti-air tickets probably would be better spent someplace else, correct?
Uh,
I mean, and I'm just nitpicking right now. That's, I mean, before anyone out there gets their knickers in a twist.
is it a Bofors? If it's a Bofors, yes, it is a Bofors. The Bofors is definitely a good idea because
Hmm.
it also acts as a lovely anti-infantry unit because you can just plop it in that forest where the 76mm is right now, and that will stop any infantry pushes from coming open the open field. Heck, it can even stun up the Stug a little bit if he so wants to.
And I get that, but I kind of feel, I mean, he. All right, I have to withdraw the objection
Okay.
minorly. Of course, first of all, Knapp's a way better player, but we also have an M5 up there to take care of the Stroke.
Yep.
We have all this infantry to take care of all the other infantry from the Germans, and at range, the Allied infantry does much better, doesn't it?
The Ranger supports do the rifles are outclassed by the Panda Grenadiers at long range.
But weight of numbers at least, if nothing else, can do just as fine, right?
Uh,
Or maybe
for,
I'm
for
just
the
playing too much
for
Russian
the
kind of
second
attack
infantry,
here. Yes, sir.
yeah, I'd say rifleman spam they win. But they need fire support to really make the rifleman spam works.
I suppose that's fair. Stug does go down, by the way.
Oh
M5
wow.
claims its kill.
Yeah, but that's really just gonna open the floodgates up north now, and I think Chicken really needs to get some anti-tank, some proper anti-tank up north. He's got 150mm and that shit.
Yes, that's true. You said 50 millimeter. I'm so used to hearing about the
No,
other buddy. I was
538.
like, wait a second.
I'm really quite surprised because Chicken Do, what he could really use right now is one of those
Mhm.
lovely, lovely Stug 4s. Because that Stug 4, 1.2 kilometer range, same armor as a Tiger. It's a good choice, Khan. It's always a good choice.
Well, he's going to go instead to the air. He's
Ooh,
trying to get some eagle-ish attacks here, and that might be enough to take out.
there
Yep,
we
there
go.
goes the Sherman. But there's that Bofors. Okay, I have to eat my hat.
What type of hat you wearing, Khan?
Oh, it's just, a lovely little beanie.
Okay, here we go.
Um,
That's not too hard to digest. You just have to cut it up a little bit and maybe
exactly.
put some hot sauce on top.
And
I
fiber's good for you, right?
Yeah, if you're trying to eat like a top hat or maybe one of those like
Fedoras.
fedoras or the Australian hat with the things hanging off, that would be a much better thing. I actually had a friend who tried to eat an Australian hat once and he almost choked on the little dangling shark teeth.
I can't imagine what it was like for him to do something down under after the fact, but that's fair. That's fair. So, in the meantime,
Yep.
it's just going to be artillery spam in the middle, and I am surprised to see that this entire map has not turned into a crater, just by how
Yeah.
often we've been seeing mortar fire and artillery going back and forth. We see very, very brave M8 coming across the
Ooh.
center line, and he's going to get wrecked by this Faust.
Yeah, he's gonna get Fausty. Oh no, is he gonna rush by the Faust in time? Yes, he does.
Oh my god.
I think
He's-
he's just barely out of range. Like
He's going for the
10
mortars.
meters. Oh, this is cheesy.
But this is beautiful, though,
I know,
too. Like, if he
this is
picks this
beautiful.
off, that's great. That completely
There's
compromises
nothing
Chicken
ba-
Dew's position.
Look back here, Khan. There's nothing to stop him. This Greyhound
jeez.
has free reign of the German rear, and it has recon optics too, so it can spot all the stuff in the forest. And now's the time to try and exploit it. Heck, he may be
Actually,
able to...
funnier still, look at what the Chicken Dew's viewpoint is. You see this blue blob until just now moving across the map.
I wonder what's over here. Oh, hello. Can he
he's
steal
aiming.
the supply truck? I'd laugh if he managed. Oh, Fokker Orfeo coming in,
Oh, good
saving the
deal.
day.
It'll freak him out a little bit, but Bofors is still going to give a good bit of ground support there.
If there's any time for Gabby to come out, now's the time.
And we are going to see a plane, but it's a P-38 Lightning instead, so Gabby stays at home. And two Falconons could be...
Are they gonna die? No. The
I don't know, but
stormtroopers.
here comes another Junker, so Junker's going to drop a bomb on him, and I think he's trying to at least force a surrender, if nothing else. Nope, just a fallback.
Let's fall back. I wonder where it's gonna, fall back to, because he's completely behind enemy lines.
We are one lone Stahlstruppen running in with a Faust. Hans wants a medal. All right, but here we are. We're 60 seconds out from Phase C, and I think it's very, very fair to say that gnef has Chicken Dew by the throat.
Yeah, Chicken Dew's real advantage of potentially attacking down south has definitely faded away with the armor core of the Shermans and M20 and M15 on the field. And I think Chicken Dew, his one major weakness is he doesn't have any armor play. He really needs some Stug 4s. Look, his Pack 40 behind the M8. That's definitely going to be a overkill, to say the least.
Well, the funny thing is, too, is that that M8, unless I'm completely mistaken here, I'm not sure he'll ever be able to come back under control.
I don't know, because he's
Oh,
behind enemy
he's
lines.
finally moving.
But it's still falling back, yo, so I still think it's automated.
I think that's true.
Oh, look, the Pack 40 is lining up.
Well, now the Falconons are trying to go and...
Oh, he just
Done it
lost
back up.
line of sight.
it's like a train wreck. You just can't look away. I'm missing so much in the rest of the field. I have to look away for right now.
Oh, it's like, mate driver got a concussion. He
There we
didn't know
go.
what to do. Oh, God,
There we go. Now he's dead.
Now he's dead. That took a little bit too long to knock out that one vehicle. But I think just the havoc alone, it definitely paid itself off. That's so far for me, Khan, that's the MVP of the game.
Yeah, well, think about it. I mean, you definitely lose a lot of micro opportunities here. Looking back to being like, okay, I have to kill this. I have to kill this. I have to kill this.
And also, you got to realize, having a unit behind your line it pisses you off, frankly. And you don't like that. Also, losing a Sherman to a Pack 38 down south.
Yes, as well as the M20. So we are going to see some of the armor is going to die over from the Americans, but gnef is up right now. He's up quite significantly, and in fact, he's almost getting very, very close to that +2.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to kick in rather quickly, I imagine.
These rifles close range against panda grenadiers are gonna definitely win that engagement.
True, true, and they're actually in better cover as well.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we never really talk about that much is that cover, but that's
Oh yeah.
superlative.
It's just so automatic for me now just to realize, oh, they're in a forest as cover. It's standing still as cover. But damn, I really do like the cover system in this game, Khan. It's a bit of a weird thing to talk about right now, but it's just how it works. How you know, the infantry in the open aren't completely buggered, because if you have an infantry unit in an open field and they're like still for like a few seconds, they'll actually entrench themselves and gain medium cover.
Indeed.
Which is a pretty cool feature, I'd say.
Well, it's something that kind of gives a little bit of a nod to the actual happenings of the war. To the north, by the way, P-38 Lightning making a gun run, trying to take out the Pioneers and Startrooper. That could be huge. Yep, and the anti-tank gun's gone as well.
Oh, triple rammy.
There's one MG. The MG is now pinned, and this should be an absolute death sentence. Okay, it should be a death sentence.
We got one Stuka. He's going to be trying to do a bombing run.
Gabreski!
There's Gabby. Come on, Gab.
And he gets him just in time. That Junker's dead.
Yeah, he's going to slowly putter his way back to friendly lines.
And Bofors takes him out.
Gets killed. Oh, almost crashes next to the Pioneer. That'd be pretty funny if he killed the Pioneer of his own plane.
Well, have we decided whether that actually kills?
Yeah,
I don't think we've.
It was the Bazooka Squad. It does kill.
Right, you're right.
Look, we finally got a Stug 4 here from Chicken Dew. Coming on down south, I'd say it's 10 minutes late.
Well, better late than never. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry. Go on, please.
I just realised I haven't even seen like a single musical instrument called a xylophone out, and
that's true.
Yeah, that'd help out a bit, I'd say. But go on.
Wait, but really, are you feeling about hearing some mallet percussion today? I don't know if I am.
No, I haven't. I really do want to hear that musical xylophone play some tunes. I mean, I'm more in favour of Starling's organ. I really like the low bass and the message that it sends. But sometimes just a simple American xylophone or a good old steamboat calliope is all I really need to just get me through Saturday.
Calliope? Really?
Yeah, calliope's a musical instrument.
Calliope, my friend. Calliope.
Calliope. How do you say it? I hear calliope. I hear calliope. They both sound correct, but I have no idea.
Okay. All right. Fine. I'll remove the objection. Ooh. Okay. Stug is able to kill that M5 to the south.
There we go.
But I don't think that's going to be enough to revive his ailing fortunes there.
I think it's going to be a bit too slow, because right now there's nothing here that can stop him really. But the Americans are already bringing up a Sherman tank and off-map artillery down south to try and contain his potential German breakout.
Oh, there it is. I was like, wait a second, I don't see any off-map artillery, but there you go.
Just the simple 203mm.
True. A silent but deadly killer.
Yeah. And a big killer.
Also true. Proving that size does matter.
It does. Oh, especially when it comes to high explosive cons. I mean, that's why the Germans built like 800mm like not rocket, but like railway guns. Because they really knew that size mattered, and they still lost the war.
I'm going to let that one go for right now, but that's okay. In the meantime, 1103 to 358, 57 to 43 in terms of map control. And this Stug is, I think, the last hope that Chicken Dew's got.
Yeah, it's really his main play. It can deal with a Sherman rather well, and really anything down south. It's just he needs a really fast push right now, and unfortunately, 17th SS doesn't exactly have too many rapid maneuver penetration units to take advantage of. It's all slower infantry support gun Stug nonsense.
Wait. So you're saying they're not down with the quickness?
Oh, they're not down to the quickness. They're not the French, unfortunately, who can just Greyhound. Well, not really Greyhound, but just Stuart rush you into oblivion. Or 9th Panzer with their Panzer IIs.
I do want to give a quick call out. Look what that artillery strike is going to go. First of all, it's beautifully positioned. But second of all, he's not going for the standard, let's wait for 45 seconds and go. No, he's having a quick TOT barrage. He wants to throw in his rifles just behind it. This could be brilliant or this could be awful.
I think with the attack of the rifles simultaneously, he could potentially break through. Maybe if he had his ranger assault or other infantry support in. But finally, there we go. Some good hits by the 203. And I really want to be a German on a hill right now.
True. True. Be screaming Mein Gott, but I'm not sure anybody will be listening, no matter how close you are after that.
That was a good run.
And another collection of... I'm sorry?
That's a good run. I like it. That was a good joke.
Thank you, thank you. I'm here all week. We are going to see just a lot more being pinned here, and this screams fire and maneuver, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Nah. Here we go.
We are seeing a slightly resurgent force down to the south, but an M10 going to need to come in to try to face off against that Stug. If nothing else, against the 222 as well.
Yeah, and we also have a 76mm gun going to be positioning itself to cover the down south area. So with the German or American heavy anti-tank weaponry, I don't think his southern assault will go too well, even if Chicken Do was to bring out a second Stug 4, which he is.
Yep, there it is. Another, yep, here comes the Junker. The Junker is coming back, and he is desperate to find something, anything as an attack round position. But he can't see it, and I think he's just backing away with it, is he? No, he's not. Okay.
I think he's just running forward the target. His 232 down south is getting awfully close to that Ranger Marauder squad. It's like he's literally like 5-10 meters away from being blown up.
Oh my gosh,
here.
you're right. Oh, track's broken on the Stug.
Oof. Yep, and I think he's not going to be living his Stug life anymore.
True. True. By the way, P-38 Lightning does bomb out that 232 that you were talking about. Yeah. And the Stug is getting way too close. You win because you don't get close. Oh my gosh, he's within 500 meters, isn't he? Nope, just outside.
Damn, he got side-shotted by... he fast moved, yeah. He should not have fast... I'm guessing that's AI pathing. Like, he just brought it out, but... You don't fast move over AI. That was a bit silly. And now with the off-map party being brought in by gnef and this whole anti-armor blob down south, I don't think Chicken can do much.
Indeed. Chicken do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to feel like Chicken don't. Wow, okay, so thank you. It was pretty bad, wasn't it?
That was terrible, but that was good timing, yo. So I give you that was good timing. But just looking at the map, we got another off-map artillery from gnef up north. I mean, you can't really do anything up north, and down south got all American armor.
I am definitely continuing to watch his artillery position. Chicken Do, I think, is just putting way too much stock in his position. He's got infantry practically living on top of each other.
Yeah, that was... And just that artillery completely almost destroyed his infantry forces. Now we've got the M10 being brought in to deal with the IG-33s and... Ouch.
Indeed. And the last one coming in looking to take out that artillery. I'm not sure if it's really going to matter. It looks like gnef 5644. Yeah, I get the feeling that Chicken Do is starting to feel like the walls are closing in.
I mean, I think he's definitely counted his chickens this match.
True. That's very, very true.
So, I want to flip us on you, Colin. What do you think Chicken could have done better this match to help him out?
Frankly, other than having his Stogs be rushing on in, instead of being standoff kind of forces. Well, I really do like the way that he usually kind of positions his infantry. I mean, using the actual tree lines themselves. But I get the feeling that he started pushing them on top of each other just way, way too much. If nothing else, looking at his early Panzergrenadiers and Stahlstruppen, we ended up seeing a lot of either concentrated anti-tank or concentrated anti-infantry, short range or long range for that matter, but not really any kind of mix.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on... Oh, damn, that double kill. Jeez. Exactly what you mean, right? Yeah, stacking the units way too close. And I think Chicken just... He couldn't deal with that early American Sherman armor. He didn't have anything to counter it initially, and it took him too long to get armor assets to help him out.
Well, and also talk about the very, very quick deployment of armor assets. By the way, so it was a Thunderbolt early on that bought it.
Oh, yeah. And just look at all the German losses, at A phase. That is even into B phase too. That is a lot of losses compared to what the Americans lost, which is like one Ranger assault and one rifle squad.
Minute 26 on.
Yeah. Damn, it took 3 minutes for a kill to actually happen. Like that's not too crazy actually, but
What I was going to
still.
say as well, though, is that the artillery assets, but they got rushed onto the field and then they sat there, and
I
that
didn't.
that that drew me a little bit crazy, but that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't notice German artillery personally during too much. I mean, it's once or twice where I stopped a rifle shot, but it seemed the American artillery was on point that match, just firing array, stunning up the Panzer Grenadier positions, and then moving up rifles and armor assets to clear the array and capture the bloody ground.
True, true, and really just taking a look at the KD ratio just speaks volumes there. Looking at the
Mm-hmm.
kills themselves, exactly the same thing. Americans killing 2-1. Like you said, for 3 minutes there was not a single German kill.
Yeah, it took heck even to fight. It took him 7 minutes for the Germans to get their first kill. 7.5 minutes, which I mean, it's not all about kills in the end of the day, but it really showed that gnef had your initiative in A phase. And then once you get to B, it's a bit more back and forth. But then later on into C, gnef really, he just destroys everything. Jeez. And
One
I
of the
think,
best in the game for a reason.
yeah, and I think, yeah, gnef just had good,
Good, solid second infantry play. The
yeah,
Indian head was strong. They were on the warpath today.
they were definitely on the raw path. And he's going to be taking home the chicken dinner tonight.
Indeed, he is a winner in this case. He goes on to round three, like we said before. He
Mm-hmm.
ended up winning this pairing 2-0.
Yeah.
But a valiant attempt by Chicken Dew to stem the tide.
Yeah, I mean, he actually held pretty well considering he just didn't get the initiative to make any major breakthroughs.
So what do you think, Ryan? Are we going to jump into another game, or are we going to cut this video here?
Yeah, I think we're good here.
Okay, so we'll cut this video here, guys. Tune back in for more PDX Steel Division tournament play. We have fun doing it. We know you guys have fun watching it. And this has been Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.
See you soon.